So 639,000 dislikes against 491 likes. This has to be one of the most decisive Marvel trailers ever. So yeah, I think things have definitely changed since the last time I made a reaction to this trailer. You can check that video out. I think it's like the second last video that I made, and I was like reacting to it pretty nonchalantly. I was like giving my honest opinions about this movie, but man, the things have changed the last time I was on this trailer. And you can see that like 639,000 dislikes. So the thing that I wanted to talk about are the sides. You have two sides. Like one side of people are absolutely hating on this thing, and on the other side, you have people who are absolutely singing this movie's praises. Look at that. How can you not sing praises of this movie? But yeah, like you have the Rolling Stones article over here. I was just reading this article, and they are going pretty heavy on the Marvel fanboys. Not Marvel fanboys, basically man-hating children. That's not me saying it like it. They are exactly calling that man-hating fanboys. This is what this article says precisely. So yeah, this article is absolutely simping for this trailer, and I wouldn't say that this article is entirely wrong to simp for the trailer, but I will say that the hate that this movie is getting is somewhat overwhelming to say the least, because if you watch my initial reaction, and that reaction is something that I recorded after I watched the trailer for the video the first time, and then when I was reacting to that trailer, it was the second time I was watching the trailer. So I had not watched anyone's video when I recorded that initial reaction, and I was as unbiased as I could be when I was recording my reaction to this movie or this trailer, basically. And you can just go back and watch that video, and I will still say the same thing that I said then, that you have one side of the people saying that this is like the worst movie ever, and you have other side saying that this is the best movie ever. But in reality, I think this is going to be one of the most mid-level Marvel movie ever. I don't think this is going to be the best Marvel movie ever. And objectively, people are going to make it the worst Marvel movie ever, because even if it's mediocre, people will just call it the worst thing ever. But then again, you will have other side of people that will just call it the best Marvel movie ever, because it doesn't matter what the movie is objectively. Like, people want to spin their narratives around this movie, and I think just because this movie is going to be, probably in my opinion, this movie is going to be a really mid-level movie. It's not going to be something too great, and it's not going to be something objectively awful. So everyone can just say whatever they want about this movie, to be honest. Like, people can say it's the best movie ever, and people can also say that this is the worst movie ever. And yeah, because this is like right in the middle. Like, this movie does not look like it's going to be anything special. Judging from the trailer, I'm just calling it like it is. Like, judging from this trailer, I don't think this movie is going to contribute anything to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And after watching the trailer the first time, like I was recording my initial reaction, I said it then, that this feels like a throwaway movie. This does not feel like a passion project where they're like, we want to make something like impactful, like we want people to go wow. Like, no, this feels like an AI generated Marvel formulaic kind of a movie. And yeah, this image, I talked about it last time too, but I do like Captain Marvel's costume this time around. I think this looks far more better than the last time. And speaking of the costume, I do want to say that I think that that Marvel has kind of worked on Captain Marvel to make her look and maybe even act better than the last video. Judging from the trailer, I'm just saying that maybe she will be much more likable this time around, because obviously Marvel has been looking at the feedback, and whether they admit it or not, I definitely think that they will just improve on this thing. Like, they don't want to admit it, but I do think that just by looking at it, like, the costume looks, man, the costume looks so much better than the last time, because last time she was looking like a goddamn potato. So yeah, the costume looks better, and she was actually even smiling in the trailer at one point. Maybe we can find that out, but That's not really necessary. But the point is that Marvel is working on this thing, like they're looking at the feedback, and they definitely want to make something good. And they obviously, like, people, everyone likes money, and they will definitely make a movie that's going to make them money. So yeah, you can actually look over here where the article literally calls the fans man children for and giving her check notes, contractually obligated job. So the point that I was actually trying to make was that these corporate movie reviewers, or professional movie reviewers as you want to call them, they usually really put up Captain Marvel on a pedestal, like she's the face of Marvel. But honestly speaking, if you watched any of Marvel movies since 2019, since Captain Marvel, the first movie, was released, you will notice that Captain Marvel has been MIA, missing in action. She's been really sidelined. You see, ever since her movie released, she was like really universally hated, and you can like even notice in the Marvel movies, like it was almost funny and a little bit sad to see Captain Marvel always appear in a hologram and just saying that I don't have time for this. I have to go save the universe, but you never see her save the universe. It's like the Marvel really pushed her under the rug or something. So yeah, even Marvel has lost faith in this character. Other than that, I don't think that this movie is going to be the worst thing ever. I've said this before a million times already, and I feel like I'm just going around in circles. So yeah, the Marvels is not going to be the worst thing ever, and probably not the best thing ever either. So it's just going to be kind of a mediocre Marvel movie that everyone is going to watch and then forget about it the next morning. So yeah, those are my thoughts right now. I think that this is actually kind of funny to see that how people are hating on the movie, and also how people are simping for the movie, where I think if you look at it objectively, this movie feels like a really mid-level movie. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be the worst thing ever. You're going to watch it. It's going to be a decent superhero flick, and you can forget about it the next day. So I'm just spitballing here, but yeah, this might be even worse than Antman 3, which Antman 3 by itself was a really disappointing movie. So I forgot to mention the box office part. I definitely think that this movie is not going to get as much as the first movie did. The first movie, Captain Marvel, released in 2019, that movie made over $1 billion, and I absolutely do not believe for 1 second that this movie is going to get more than $1 billion, because like that movie was sandwiched between two of the biggest Marvel movies ever, and this movie feels like it's going to be a dud unless there's a big ass miracle, and this movie is the best movie ever. Only then I think that this movie can get $1 billion, because if that's not the case, I don't think that this movie is going to reach anywhere close to $1 billion. So my estimations for this movie is going to be, it's going to either get like somewhere between 500 to $800 million. So that's going to be this movie's box office prediction from me. You heard it from me first, people. So yeah, like those are my thoughts. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say, and now you guys tell me, like, what do you guys think how this movie is going to be? And as always, for now, it's time for a goodbye.